I've always viewed life through a lens of sarcasm, where love isn't an eternal flame, but a firework that explodes right in your face, leaving burns on your soul. I live in a quiet suburb outside Chicago, work as a marketer in a small agency where I spend every day selling illusions of happiness to others, while my own reality slips through my fingers like sand. But nothing compares to the absurdity that unfolded around my older sister, Sophia. Sophia is 5 years older than me. She was always the perfect big sister, smart, beautiful, with a law degree from Northwestern. But at 35, she was trapped in a relationship with Alex, a former military guy who now works as a trainer at a fitness center on the outskirts of Chicago. Their relationship was textbook abusive. He controlled her every move, was jealous of the air she breathed, and she justified it all with love. I saw bruises on her wrists. I tripped on the stairs. I heard screams over the phone. Just an argument. Philosophically, abuse isn't just fists. It's slow poison that the victim drinks willingly, convincing herself it's the elixir of devotion. Sarcastic? Of course, because society teaches women that endurance is a virtue and leaving is defeat. Our family wasn't simple. Our parents divorced when I was 10 and Sophia was 15. Dad, a former engineer at a Detroit factory, was a classic tyrant. Nightly yelling, financial control, emotional violence that left scars deeper than any physical ones. Mom, a school teacher, drowned her pain in alcohol. Just a glass of wine at night until it became a bottle. We grew up in a house where love was synonymous with pain. Dad verbally tore Mom apart. Mom punished us with silence. Sophia, as the older one, took on the strong role. She protected me, but absorbed all the poison. I learned sarcasm as armor. Life is a comedy where all the roles are miscast. After the divorce, Dad moved to California. Mom stayed in Chicago, but their shadows haunted us. Sophia was repeating Mom's mistake, tolerating Alex because better a bad one than none. I decided to intervene. I invited Sophia to dinner at an Italian place downtown. Under the guise of chatting about work, I tried to draw out the truth. She brushed it off. Alex is just passionate, like Dad was. That stung, comparing him to the man who broke our family. That evening, she showed me a bruise on her shoulder. Hit the door. I didn't believe it. Mom, when I asked about Sophia, answered evasively, "Don't get involved, Emma. Family is sacred." Sacred? In our family, sacred meant secrets rotting inside. I went further. I monitored their social media. Alex posted gym selfies. Sophia posted rare smiling photos that never reached her eyes. I hired a private investigator through an app in Chicago. Cheap, but effective. He sent photos. Alex yelling at Sophia in a park, her in tears. Call logs where he controlled her schedule. Neighbors complained about noise at night. The investigator hinted, "Not everything is as it seems." One photo showed Sophia yelling at Alex. I brushed it off. Self-defense. Philosophically, we see only what we want to see. I saw a victim in my sister, ignoring the shadows of our parents. I compiled the evidence, photos of bruises, call logs, neighbor statements. I decided to send it anonymously to Chicago police. Illinois has hotlines for domestic violence victims. Sarcastic? I was playing superhero, but in reality, it was an act of desperation. I sent the package and waited. Mom called the next day, nervous. "Emma, do you know what's going on with Sophia?" She's not answering. Dad texted, "Stay out of it like your mother." That raised red flags. They knew something? Our family wasn't simple. That's an understatement. Dad taught us violence. Mom taught us silence. But here's where life's sarcasm reached its peak. The police didn't come for Alex. They came for Sophia. Turns out, she was the abuser. Alex had endured for years because he loved her and feared no one would believe a man. The bruises I photographed? His. Neighbors complained about her screams. She threatened suicide if he left, controlled the money, even sabotaged his job. Mom knew, but stayed silent, to keep the family together. Dad saw himself in Sophia. Sarcasm? I tried to save my sister from a monster, but the monster was her. Philosophically, intervening in someone else's relationship is playing God without instructions. One wrong move, and you destroy the wrong thing. Sophia was arrested for domestic violence, a felony in Illinois on repeat offenses. She called me from the station, sobbing, blaming me. I sat in my Chicago apartment, staring at Lake Michigan, thinking, life isn't Shakespearean tragedy. It's farce where the savior destroys what she meant to save. Update 1. What happened to Sophia and all of us? 3 months have passed since the police took Sophia away in handcuffs from her downtown Chicago apartment. 3 months that turned my life into a slow, sticky nightmare where every morning I wake up thinking, what if I destroyed the wrong life? Philosophically, good intentions are often the most dangerous illusion. They look beautiful in the mirror until they shatter against reality, and reality proved cruel. Sophia was released on bail, but the case is heading to trial, and every time I see her name in lawyer notifications, I want to turn off my phone and pretend none of it happened. She called me only once, from the holding cell, her voice trembling but lacking the broken tone I'd heard before. She accused me. You ruined my life, Emma. You betrayed the family. I stayed silent because there was nothing to say. Life's sarcasm. I wanted to pull my sister out of hell, and I ended up sending her there myself. But then, in therapy, she began to admit the truth. Slowly, reluctantly, like someone who'd denied breathing for years. She said, I didn't want to be like this. I just repeated mom and dad. Classic abuser, seeing themselves as the victim even when they're the perpetrator. Alex, whom I'd labeled a monster, turned out to be the victim of a much longer, quieter war. He filed for divorce a week after her arrest. Restraining order, moved to a different neighborhood, therapy. He did everything to erase her from his life. I ran into him once by chance at a coffee shop near his new gym. He looked tired but calm. He said only one thing. Thanks for helping me see. I didn't reply. Philosophically, salvation sometimes comes from the people you least expect. Sarcasm? I saved not my sister, but her husband, the man I hated because I saw my father in him. Our parents. That's where things got even more absurd. Mom fell into deep depression after Sophia's arrest. She stopped leaving the house, only called me at night, crying. I knew, but I was scared. Scared that if I spoke up, I'd lose both of you. She admitted she'd seen Sophia repeating her own mistake, tolerating, staying silent, justifying. But instead of intervening, she just closed her eyes. Dad? He called me from California a week after the court date. His voice was hoarse, like someone who'd smoked his whole life. You did what I couldn't, but now the family is destroyed. Sarcasm? He, the former tyrant, now talks about a destroyed family as if he didn't lay the foundation. The revelations kept coming. Sophia had manipulated not only Alex but our parents for years. She took money from Mom for treatment, from Dad for a new life. When the truth came out, Mom stopped giving her money, Dad stopped answering calls. Sophia was left alone, no support, no excuses. Trial is set for spring. She faces a felony, up to 3 years unless she pleads down to probation. She blames me, but in therapy she started saying, I didn't want to be like this, I just repeated. Classic. The abuser sees themselves as victim until the very end. And me? I live with guilt mixed with relief. Every morning I look in the mirror and think, you wanted to save your sister, but you saved her husband. And maybe you saved her from something worse. Philosophically, rescue isn't victory, it's a lesson. Sometimes it's better to leave people alone with their demons. Life's sarcasm. I, the little sister who was always the princess, now wear a crown of guilt. But there's light in that crown. Alex started a new life. Mom went to therapy. Dad at least stays silent, honestly. And Sophia, maybe one day she'll understand that salvation starts not with another person, but with herself. Now we're all in therapy. America is the land of second chances, but the price of the first one is ruins. And I still don't know if I did the right thing. But I know one thing. Silence is worse than any intervention, even if it destroys everything around it.